Quick, off the top of your head, what are the things you value most in your life? Hey, Steve Gamlin here. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Vision Board Guy podcast. Going back to the question, what do you value most in your life? Now, some people might say their home, their car, their family, anything. I want you to remember this. One of the simplest things that you can do in almost any situation is to value people. Now, these days, with so much chaos, yelling, screaming, pointing fingers, cancel culture, all the crazy people on social media, I see so many people forgetting that everyone else is human, just like they are. We may not always agree. We may not have the same core values. We may not see eye to eye on the best actions to take or the reactions and responses to have to situations. But here's the thing. I believe we can create better progress toward our individual and collective visions of a better world when we value the people who cross our paths. When we stop and understand, slam on the brakes a little bit before we go off, that we represent only one person out of the nearly 8 billion who share this beautiful blue spinning rock we call Earth. Instead of pointing the fingers about what's going wrong in the world, I think we have to remember every once in a while to shift our focus over to what we admire and shine a light on those people and causes that mean something in our lives, the people we value most. See, everybody's so hell-bent on, and I see this especially on social media, pointing out the bad stuff instead of celebrating the good stuff. And I've even had people say, Steve, how can you be so positive? Look at all this stuff that's going wrong in the world. And my usual response is, well, I'm positive because I choose to focus on positive things. And the positive things are just as real as the negative things. And I love to celebrate people. By the way, I value you right now for sharing your ears and your heart and your imagination with me during this show. And here's something that I had to learn over the years. Valuing people, other people, begins, and I do believe this, when we value ourselves. And then we seek out the thoughts, the words, the actions, and the qualities that we appreciate in others. But I do believe we've got to have it for ourselves first. We need to value that person who looks at us in the mirror every single day. And I'll be honest, I didn't always value that person. I used to take some nasty shots at that person in my mirror. I would point out the bad. I would dredge up the old stories of the failures and the shortcomings. And when I started to value myself, it made it a lot easier, first off, to achieve success. By the way, you get to decide what success means to you. But to achieve success, to get out there, put my good foot forward every single day, to look at the world in the eye and connect with it and feel as though I was worthy to be there. See, you got to value yourself first. And for years, even in my early years of speaking and my stand-up comedy, I didn't value myself. And when I go back and listen to those messages, I hear taking little shots at myself, self-deprecating stuff to get laughs. And it got laughs, but it wasn't valuing myself. It doesn't mean you got to go all total egomaniac out there, but just understand what you bring to the world. And when you value yourself, it makes it a lot easier to value other people and see the good in them. And the more of those things and more people you gather around yourself, the better, the happier you're probably going to be, because everyone has value in some small way. Maybe it's a lesson of how to be in your life. Maybe it's even an example of how not to be. That's something to value in those people. They taught you something. And I also believe that the greatest rewards out there are waiting for the people who look closely enough to see them and to see the value and to see the steps it's going to take to get there. And one really good way to find value in other people is to start adding value and seeing value in the world yourself. And I hope you will. Steve Gamlin here, wrapping up this episode of the Vision Board Guy podcast. If you would like to connect with a very cool community of like-minded people who see and create value, you can find us at visionboard.group. And of course, to get the basic steps of how to understand and implement visualization in your life, if you go to visionboardspecial.com, you'll find it there. Catch you next time. Be well.